Hi, I'm Matt from hockeyreviews.ca, and this is going to be a video to show you how these slide plates work on the Warrior G6 pads. So obviously this is a Warrior G6. They come with the slide plates. We're going to show you how they come on and off of the G6 itself, and then how you can also put them on other pads like this one. This is a G5, and Warrior is going to be selling these separately, and they help with sliding and stuff like that. So if your pad starts getting worn down, slides worse, or if you're just playing really crappy ice, or if you just want better sliding, you will eventually be able to buy these and put them on your pads, and they greatly increase sliding. So we're going to show you all that off. Now I also have videos on the G6 pad, one going over how to adjust these toe ties, as well as kind of a secret trick with the boot straps and the toe ties. So make sure you check that out as well. Gonna have full review of this set coming very shortly as well. And if this video was helpful, and if any of my Warrior content was helpful, please reach out to Warrior on social media. Let them know my stuff is very helpful and you want to see more of it in the future. I bought these pads unlike a lot of the other influencers, so it's more difficult for me to do videos like that when I gotta buy stuff over and over and over again, which I'm happy to do, but at the same time, I can't be doing it for every set of gear. So if you want to support the channel and you're buying hockey equipment anyways, please check out the links in the description to Pure Hockey if you're in the US and Hockey Supremacy if you're in Canada. Clicking those links and making a purchase gives me a kickback so I can keep making content like this and doing more reviews. Otherwise, check out Patreon and buy me a coffee. Everything through those links always comes back into the channel. I gotta buy a lot of gear in order to do these reviews and talk about content, so it helps me out and helps the channel out, and it would be greatly appreciated. So how this thing works, obviously it's just Velcro and it sits on there. So this knee block is a pretty straightforward design. You obviously have Velcro under there and on the top right here. So what we have to do is we have to unvelcro all of the inner parts, and we'll do that right now. And we gotta do the bottom, and you can see this comes off, come on, like so, and you have that piece under there. And then what really happens for this one is you put it on the right way. This one is really straightforward for this pad since it's cut out exactly for this pad. Obviously this won't be an exact cutout, and that material won't be like ingressed, as you can see how this is kind of pushed in. So that won't be like that on other companies' gear, but this will stick out a bit. You can still do it, it just won't be as smooth as a transition. And you just pull this tight, wrap that around there, pull this tight, wrap that around there as well. And then you just put the knee padding back on like that, and you fold over the Velcro there. Make sure it's all kind of aligned and not hanging over. I like to make sure this piece is like right at the edge like that, so that way this doesn't get caught up on pants or anything. Because if this kind of floats over, it still is a bit, but when it's kind of pushing out here, it can catch on pant edges and kind of frayed nylons and stretchy materials like that. Then put it right here. And unfortunately, this part obviously doesn't overlap perfectly because this part isn't sticky, but it's fine. And you just put it on there like that. And then same with the bottom. Just pull it tight and make sure it's all kind of covering, and you are good to go right there. So you can see how that just sits on there, and then you have your slide plate added onto that. So same thing with taking it off, obviously very straightforward. Just pull this. You don't even need to pull it all the way off. You just have to pull it to the point where you can get at the little piece right here. And this would be easier, but my fingers always get chewed up from Velcro and from wearing gloves all the time. So I'm just a little bit more careful, but it should be easier if you're doing it and don't have destroyed fingers like myself. And we just pull that out, and there it is off. Normally I'd wrap that back up. I'm going to put it back on to use after I demonstrate how it works on the other pad. So the G5 is a very different design in how this works, because you have like this piece right here, and the whole block doesn't open up quite as it does on the G6. It still opens, it's just a opposite direction. So this one still works, and it's just a slight different way. It's almost, actually it is easier. So all you gotta do is pull this off. Make sure these pieces are on the wing like they should be. Just like that. And then this piece becomes pretty straightforward because you just put it on right here, and then you just tighten it this way. So you're gonna get some overlap, but then you just close it up like so. And it's not a perfect fit like I mentioned before. As you can see, it kind of comes out a bit, and this will kind of, like you can see, it's kind of a lot looser than what it is on the G6, but this still gets you what you're looking for, and it should hold in place really well, or still well, I should say. And you can use this on other pads too, but again, it's not going to be a perfect fit compared to things like this, but it should be good enough. And like I mentioned, that will kind of stick out. You can definitely see how if you're landing on this, that is definitely going to stick out a bit. So that will raise the pad off, which isn't the greatest thing, especially on pads that aren't the best sealing pads, like up here and stuff like that, which this one isn't fantastic. So that's an option though, especially if your pads are getting really worn down and everything. Could definitely add that right there. So another way to do this, if you don't have like the Velcro that works perfectly for here, is there's always going to be like ways to do this custom, right? So here, you still have these little ridges right here. So what you could do is, Velcro in this case won't work. You could cut this off and add, say, skate lace right here. Put that skate lace there, tie it through there, hold it in place, or you could use nylon cord like what this is and kind of tie it in place through there and go through there and then come back type thing. You can do it on both sides. You can also do that with other pads too. So if, for example, you need something to go longer than what this is, one, you can just replace these. You'd have to obviously mod that yourself, but you could just put it through blocks on pads that don't have kind of this Velcro design, but most pads do have like a piece of foam here and then the knee block, so you can put it in between. This is just almost a weirder case. Most of them are more similar to this design, how you can kind of just pull off that inner padding pretty easily. So you could do that very easily with this pad and add it to other pads to get more sliding out of it. So hopefully this video was helpful. This stuff will be for sale eventually. If you want to check it out, check out the links in the description. But I know Warrior hasn't quite had enough inventory to bring them to market steadily yet. So hopefully that will come soon. I think this is a great thing on this pad, specifically the G6. G5, it can definitely make your pad slide better, but just because it's not perfectly like designed with the pad in mind, it does pop it off a little bit. And I'm not going to put this on just to test it because I'm done wearing my G5s, and someone else can talk about that because that's a lot of testing. And I don't have time for that, but I do like this idea. You could bring it to really old pads that are kind of broken down, the Gen Pro's wearing out, stuff like that, and you just don't slide well. Or like CCM pads, you could throw that on there and it would definitely make them slide better than what they do currently. So I like that idea. It doesn't quite work as well in terms of total usability as like the 3MV Vivid tape does, or film does, I should say. That's like plastic film wrap that I talked about in the past. This obviously is a harder substance, should last longer, and while not as universal, probably does give you slightly better results, or pretty close, but again, lasts a lot longer than that tape does, and you won't have to replace it. So hopefully this video was helpful. Remember to like this video, comment on it if you have any questions, or if you think it was helpful. It'd be greatly appreciated and helps the video out. Subscribe to me on YouTube. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and TikTok. Links are in the description. If you want to support the channel so I can make more content like this, be sure to check out the links in the description to Hockey Supremacy if you're in Canada, and Pure Hockey if you're in the US. Clicking those links and making purchases gives me a kickback. It helps support the channel so I can make more content and doing real reviews. Otherwise, check out Patreon, Buy Me Coffee. Everything goes through any of those links, always comes back into the channel. It helps me make more content and do more reviews, and be greatly appreciated. Thank you very much for watching, and take it easy.
You're watching HockeyReviews.ca.